Good evening. I'd like to thank Drs. Lamberson and Marjorie Chenlock. Did I say that right? Lamberson? I've been saying that joke for a long time. I'd like to thank you for inviting me to participate in this year's Humanities Month War Stories presentations, and particularly for sharing with me the more than 60 poems of Glenn Allison from the West Texans and the experience of the war, World War I to the present project. My name is Laurence Musgrove, and I'm a professor of English in the Department of English and Modern Languages located in the College of the Arts and Humanities at Angelo State. In my discipline, literary studies, we study how works of narrative and poetry are created to reflect our historical and ongoing desire to learn about ourselves and others through reading and through writing. In the poems I'll share this evening, Glenn Allison reminds us of the vital role language can play in healing, memory, friendship, and creating community. In these poems, Glenn Allison courageously writes about some of the many ways he and others have suffered as a result of serving in America's Vietnam War. He also writes about how through companionship and memory, he might relieve that suffering for himself and for others. But in order to communicate this suffering and this relief in his poems, Glenn Allison has also demonstrated that he knows very well the art and craft of poetry. He shows us that he's a skilled craftsman. Time and again, he calls upon the traditional tools of the poet: shape, line, voice, repetition, and analogy to communicate beautifully his literary intentions. In terms of shape and line, these poems are almost always short and centered on the page. Because these poems are meant to memorialize the death of his friends who continue to suffer and others who continue to suffer, while also offering a moment of balanced peace. They take their shape and their centered lines from one of the most common images in his poems, the gravestone, or marker, with names, dates, and sentiments always deeply etched and centered on the slab. This is evident in his poems, Alberto and the Stone. Alberto. Your stone came here, white marble cut from a quarry so far away. I am taken back to yesterday. Remember eating at my house and us at yours, our trips to San Antonio to get our so-called cures. How about the Alpine, Kim, Mary? They always brought our food, bright and cheery. There were the gun shows, fishing, tent reunion from '68, and the pink sombrero where we always ate. And how about Luby's, the girl with the skimpy clothes? Of course, our dress was not the best, you know. Hats of ours, the jungle I wore, your black beret, the best for sure. I remember this all just like yesterday, thinking of you forever. and today. Love to my brother, up and far away, who went to visit Jesus one fine day, November 4th, 1989. And his poem, The Stone. How straight we stand after death, all nice and neat at every command. Trees so tall they are our ladder to heaven. Grass so green it reminds me of Nam. We anchor your brother's memories in the earth. Your thoughts and his to awaken someday to a new birth. I am only temporary. The death is final. Come see me again if you wish. As the sun shines off me, your brother's spirit so does shine. Every poem has a voice, and that voice, maybe the poets or the poet may give that voice to someone or to something else. In The Stone, which I just read, Allison gives the voice to gravestones. He also gives voice to a flower, a pretty flower, and to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in the Black Wall. Pretty flower. I am just a pretty flower in this garden, don't you see? Among all the white marble tombstones of men who fought for liberty, they make me feel so good and really make me feel nice. They gave their all for people, some once, some twice. But I come around once a year to spread my petals and good cheer. They like me here. Don't you mark their stones or pick my petals bright, because I am their little garden, and they really make me look nice. The Black Wall. Their pride is there, the shame is ours, leaving our brothers marked on the wall forever. The black wall over the black wall. The wall that cries, saying, I will see you in another time. As brothers, we were never meant to part. The black wall over the black wall. I embrace you, brothers, with our hearts never to be separated by the big black wall. Repetition is also a favorite tool of the poet, as evident in the rhyme, repeated words, and of course, the repeated beat, the rhythm, the metronome of the poem. You've already heard the use of rhyme in these poems, and you've heard the repeated references to gravestones. Given his desire to memorialize, he also repeats in his poems, Americans forget and bless them. His concern that people will forget the sacrifices made and the suffering that continues. Americans forget. The thoughts of time have left me. The memories of the future and past will tackle the life to come. Remember, O you people of America, Vietnam was a war, not a movie or a screenplay. Americans have forgotten their sacrifice in the long ago war, a time they would rather forget. My sisters and brothers, you shake my hand when you go to the wall. You have forgotten my brothers and me, most of all. Time has elapsed. Bless them. The thoughts of my heart have left me. They count us only as a number. My soul feels empty for these feelings of wrong. My friends in my heart are in my mind. We have no place to go but home. I have a large family. Even as my paper fills up, my heart spreads. Family is silent now, but our group, we pray, will slow. Bring my soul with them to heaven, God. Give my brothers the forgiveness of a war that is not theirs. Bless them on the wall. The fifth tool of the poet is analogy, drawing a likeness between two unlike things. In Hello Wall, Allison personifies and gives human emotion to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. And in the poem titled Rights, he transforms himself into the memorial itself, forever ready with the words that will bring greeting and comfort. Hello, wall. Where have I been today? I have not left you, and my mind will not stay away. The thoughts of yesterday will bury me today. I want to forget the price you had to pay for your color, black. Hello, all. Rights. And again in this poem, Rights, Allison transforms herself into the wall itself. Writes, Glenn writes for his pain. No sympathy for himself has passed this paper. He writes of what should not have been, but the joy of what was yet to come. He, Glenn, will shake our hands, and at the wall he'll stand to say not goodbye, but hello forevermore, he writes. Close, let me summarize by saying that I believe these short poems serve to memorialize in beautifully chosen language through shape, line, voice, repetition, and analogy, the shared experiences of many veterans who grieve the loss of their friends, and in the case of Allison, a veteran who attempts to find relief from suffering through poetry. Poems carefully shaped and balanced on the page, and also containing a voice that echoes the tone of lines etched in gravestones, or those of the fallen, repeated again and again on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, a long, low, black wall, sunken sharply and cut deeply, not unlike a gash, a wound left open by a troubled war and crippled thoughts. But it is also a voice reflecting the pledged allegiance and comfort on public display, rooted in and rising up from our country's war monuments on the National Mall, and also from the heart of these poems by Allison.